When we talk about our toolbox, I think it's easy to sort of get caught up in the tactical, mechanical, like actual practices. And I think sometimes we lose sight of just how we're thinking about the art of mixing in the middle of all that kind of, okay, how do I do X, Y, Z?
Right.
So how do you guys approach, like, when you're middle of rehearsal, you've got things dialed in, okay, great. Now, how are you specifically thinking about the musicality and how I'm gonna kind of bring something to this experience as if I'm playing an instrument? Because I think we all approach our craft as a musician just as much as we do as a technician. We talk about that a lot, but are there any things that you're actually thinking about when you're trying to find the art in what we're doing?
I think for sure thinking about how it's going to hit people,
Yeah.
and they're not musicians, right? So if it's a very introspective song, slow BPM, the chord progressions aren't just 1 4 5.
Yeah.
It's a little left. Then I'm also thinking about, well, what's that mean to me? So if the arrangement's correct and the band is playing the right production of the song, then how do I not get in the way of that, but also take what they're doing and paint the right colors?
So finding out how you can bring something to the creative table in a way,
Yeah.
like as thinking as if you're one of the band members.
Yeah, I think if they do their job perfectly, it still is going through my hands, right? So it's not just about staying out of the way.
Right.
It's also about portraying what they're doing under my hands so that the people receive it in the way that they're intending.
That's really good.
There's an engagement level, I think, when you're mixing. I think that's what you're talking about. There's an
Yeah.
engagement level where I don't want to just get the technical stuff all right. In fact, the three of us aren't really all that technical when it gets right down to it.
No.
We have to bring a lot of people around to get all the technical right.
Anybody who's watched these videos
They
realizes
would
that's
know.
absolutely true.
That's right. Getting engaged into the process and into the spirit of the music, whatever kind of music it is, it's all written from a lot of it's written from a really personal place.
Yeah.
Whether it's an up song or a down song, usually with some really deep lyrics. And I like what you said, where I want to be engaged in that just as much as I would expect a musician or singer to be engaged, right? And where everybody's staring at them and you expect them to be into it and to emote a certain feeling from what they're doing. I want to do that too in our way,
Yeah.
using the technical stuff at our command, to add to this.
I had a music teacher once who said, it's not really music until it moves you. Otherwise, it's just notes.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
And so for me, I'm trying to find, okay, what's the thing about this arrangement, this vocal, this part, this bridge, whatever it is, what's the thing that I can find that's going to move people, that's going to move me? Where's the emotion? And if they're, like you said, Lee, if they're doing it right, then it's going to be there somewhere.
Right.
And I think sometimes it's our job to uncover where that's coming from. Sometimes it might be this static pad that's coming from keys 2. It doesn't necessarily have to be the lead vocal.
Right.
It could be this interesting texture that we create with a reverb, or
Right.
the darkness of our delay return, or an effect that comes out of nowhere that's just sort of a, wow, that was cool.
But you can't speak that language unless you know it.
Right.
So that's years and years and years of being a student of music, not just notes.
So as we've always said, what are you listening to? What are you, as you listen to music, is it just background noise in the kitchen while you're making dinner? Or are you trying to explore with headphones some of the nuance, some of the colors, some of the, like, how would I ever achieve that
Yeah.
I'm hearing?
I
And then being able to experiment with things to explore, okay, how can I get those results?
think of it sometimes with, all of us are familiar with working with pastors, and I think we all know most of them, without fail, put a lot of time and effort into preparing a message.
You would hope
right?
that they would.
You would,
yeah.
and most of them you can tell. I mean, they have They are learned individuals. They read, they listen to blogs, they pray, they get into it. They're working on their craft. And I think about it when I get behind a console in a room where everything that happens in there that people are going to hear and be affected by goes through my ears, my head, my senses, through my hands, into something that I'm listening to. And I go, why wouldn't I want to be as prepared as they are, whether it's a musician, a pastor, someone sharing something that's happened in their life? Why wouldn't I want to be that prepared?
Because it's a huge responsibility.
Huge responsibility. Yeah. And sometimes I think the tendency is to phone it in. Turn the faders up and let's go. That doesn't feel like engagement to me. There's a higher level that we can get to when we start really dialing into what's behind this music and what can I do to bring something to it.